So it's not
Okay.
necessarily about the price tag, I would say, but they want an experience that feels appropriate and that they do question sometimes when something seems like it is out of reach a little bit. They do care more about the experience and the moments that matter and something that we can create for them. I often use this terminology. Um, we call ourselves the private banking for travel almost.
Welcome to the Pink Couch podcast. And we have the great pleasure of talking to Anna Judek, who, Anna, you have taken over Zebrano Travel. Congratulations. What a wonderful opportunity for you to continue the growth of this. It's a very well recognized luxury agency. And one of the things that I want to get to with you is to understand the day in a life of a travel concierge.
Mm.
How do you do what you do? It boggles the mind to understand the degree to which you and your colleagues have to really take such white glove service to your clientele. So, first, Sobrano, what made you take this step?
Thanks for the opportunity, Nina. I'm so happy to be here. So it's been just over a year since I took over ownership of Zebrano Travel. I am so very proud of the transition. It's been a whirlwind, lots of learning, but the team is really the best in the biz. So I'm so happy to continue the legacy of Wendy Davis and her
Yeah.
team in servicing, the high net worth and ultra high net worth segment out of Toronto. So it's been an absolute joy to join the team and learn from the team and collaborate with the team. So I can tell you a little bit about the agency itself. We are a luxury concierge service.
Yeah.
We're boutique and we work as a team. So not ICs, but working as a team for our clients. And the way we work is very collaboratively, and the team is designed in a way that is highly specialized. So each sort of person brings an element of talent into the trip planning that you had mentioned, and you alluded to how nuanced it is and how detailed it is, and I can tell you with great certainty that it absolutely is. Each member of our team plays such a key role in bringing the trips to life. We do everything from obviously travel bookings like hotels, cruise, flights, but it's the concierge side that really brings together the magic. So our team is fully versed on dining plans or spa bookings or any kind of sporting events that clients might want to attend. Um, Anything in terms of car rentals or really any experiences in touring. So bringing that all together, it's a lot of details and it's a lot to keep track. But when we work as a team, we sort of can build that in and make it the best that it is.
Can you make it more concrete for me? Like, give me an
Mm-hmm.
example, for instance, of a client, their sort of expectations, I guess, personality traits, how that impacts how you work with them. Because these words of concierge, and they're sort of
Mm-hmm.
broadly used for the last couple of
Yes.
decades. But really, what does it entail, and who is your client, and what do they want from you?
Yeah. Yeah. Great question. It's actually it's very collaborative with our clients. We get to know them extremely well. We work mostly with executive level, CEO level, and their families.
Okay.
A lot of multi-gen, and I can speak to that a little bit because some of our clients have been such a long-standing clients of Zebrano Travel, and the matriarch and patriarch of the family have actually passed down the way they travel to their children, their grown children, and now grandchildren. So there's an element of longevity in working with them, and they get used to traveling a certain way. They travel often, they travel well, so they're used to that. So then the grown children and then now grandchildren are used to that, so they do come and want to talk to us about booking their travel.
And
One way
I'm just gonna
I
I just want to
Yeah.
stop here. There's a curiosity while you're chatting about that. You're talking about they travel well. So when you're dealing with someone where money is no object, which I'm sure for a lot of advisors who are listening to us, that sounds like a dream come true because they're trying to, perhaps work with someone who has a limited budget and they have to try and find ways to meet their expectations. You don't have that constraint. But on the flip side, does that make it easier or more challenging to fulfill their desires?
Yeah, I would say that money is no object is maybe not the right way to say it. It's
Okay.
not necessarily about the price tag, but our clients are very, very smart, and they'll look at options and they'll look at it from a CEO lens, if you can think about that,
Yeah,
and say,
yeah.
okay, bottom line, do I want to spend my money on the highest category in a hotel, the penthouse? Or do I do a mid-range suite, but spend money on a day yacht? So they do make trade-offs. So it's not
Okay.
necessarily about the price tag, I would say, but they want an experience that feels appropriate and that they do question sometimes when something seems like it is out of reach a little bit. So they do question that. They do care more about the experience and the moments that matter and something that we can create for them. I often use this terminology. Um, we call ourselves the private banking for travel almost. Like we're
Wow.
we're we're
Right.
providing we're providing that extra level of service of providing clients with a amount of optionality that they can then narrow down to exactly what they want. And it's really based on our long-standing relationship. We know their families, we know their hobbies, we know that they're perhaps into art, so they want to spend a lot of time, checking out the art scene in a particular destination. We know that they like to do things like the French Open, so they'll want to build a trip around that. And
Mhm.
because we know their hobbies and interests so well, we can really narrow down and provide them with options that make sense for them.
I love what you said about the CEO mindset.
Hmm.
These are smart people, they're business people. They approach travel from a business perspective. What's good value? What makes sense? Where I'm getting the most out of my investment, which is my time, including my money. So you have to have a very business-like approach, I imagine, in how you interact with these individuals.
Oh, I can tell you many stories about this, but honestly, an Excel spreadsheet is your friend.
Okay.
It's your friend when you're building out travel for clients of this nature. They often ask us to estimate how much everything is going to be when it's all put together. We use Excel for that. We also we always joke internally as well that math is our friend. We have to ensure accuracy. We have to ensure that the accounting is absolutely correct and
Wow.
accurate, that
Yeah.
we're tracking payment details, we're tracking cancellation policies. Some of our clients are magicians when it comes to their finances. So they will put some of the trip on one credit card, another part of the trip on another's, and another, and we don't question that. We just do it, and we make sure that it's accurate and correct. So it has to be um, really well explained as well. That why does something cost what it does, as
Yeah.
well? Like what is the benefit to the client?
But on the flip side, though, you do then also have to offer all of the bells and whistles that someone expects in terms of their comforts. And so you have to understand what's available on the other side. And I remember when I spoke with Dave, remember when I spoke with Wendy Davis one time, she was saying she spends half the year initially going and checking out those destinations, those
Mm-hmm.
hotels, those all of it. Do you do that as well?
Absolutely. In fact, we do send the team as well. So especially in destinations that we're booking often, and in Europe or Africa or now even South America is growing in interest. We send the team members as well as myself. We also attend industry conferences so we can learn about
Mhm.
destinations and different properties. But there is something, we have a full training program as well that we've created. And that is something that I am super proud of. We brought in Lucy Vieira, who's a
Hmm.
industry legend, and she's come in and created a luxury mindset training program. So when we do bring on team members, and for our existing team members to refresh their skills as well. But in terms of understanding the destinations and the products, absolutely. So we do FAMs, we do visiting, we attend conferences. We have weekly training. So we bring in properties and cruise lines and tour operators to train with us on a weekly basis. And because we need to know the amount of detail that we have to share with our clients, it's important to really understand and dive deep into it. We dive deep into private air. What does that look like?
Right.
And charter services. We have to understand heli services. We have to understand how yachts and booking yachts and villas and what that all entails to
Hmm.
understand it so we can relay that information back to the client.
Yeah. You have to have a really solid business behind you. Yeah, it's such a. I'm a bit speechless because what you're telling me is not something that I really gave a lot of thought to, and
Yeah.
I find it really interesting. You also hear horror stories, though, of well, horror stories, different challenges, if you will, for people in your role who are expected to be available 24/7, and you have a life. So to then get the phone call at 2 o'clock in the morning because my seat doesn't recline. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but
Yeah.
of that ilk, is that part of the service?
I would say that our clients are, very nice people, generally very respectful of your time, but they do have very busy lives. So they
Hmm.
may not get to a quote or reviewing something until after hours, right? A CEO is not going to look at that during the day. He's got a business to run. So it might be an after hours item that we're having to discuss. We do also find the one thing that that the team recognizes and that we have to deal with is that you have to be pretty nimble. Their schedule changes and
Right.
can change frequently. So you have to be nimble and flexible in terms of managing changes on the fly. There's a lot of that goes on because of the nature of their role and how they work. And because of that, we've also have build relationship with their executive assistants or with their family office. And so there is an element of relationship there. So we know that if something is coming down, we know who to talk to
Right.
in terms of a change to schedule or booking something.
When you said CEO, you said he. Is it mainly males who are in this role?
Oh, yes. No, I didn't mean to do that. No, we have both. We
Okay.
have both. And then in some cases, the family matriarch is the one that's making the decisions or in terms of travel. But no, both for sure.
Both. Because
Yeah,
women tend to be quite involved in a family travel plan, from what I've heard. So I was
absolutely.
curious to see if it's the okay.
Sometimes
So
they make the final decision.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Uh, You talk about high net worth, and it's, of course, the
Mhm.
buzzword that we hear so much about and the growth in that market. Are you seeing the business grow? Are you seeing more and more people reach those income levels?
Yeah, I think that is safe to say, especially in Canada, and we do have some clients that reside both in Canada and the US. But I would say there is definitely growth in that space. When you look at what Virtuoso is sharing as well, they're
Yeah,
showing growth year over year. There is also the element of planning, almost like an inheritance planning is the same way people are planning with their travel. So
right,
they'll look at their net worth and say, okay, these are the trips I want to do over the next 3 or 4, 5 years. And they do it almost the same way as they would with their financial planning, is they're planning a succession
makes so
or
much sense.
inheritance
Yeah.
planning. Exactly, exactly. So I think there is growth in this space.
So give me a treat now. Talk to me about an itinerary that you're particularly proud of for one of these high net worth clients.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's so many, and what I do feel really proud of is that our clients actually um, really want us to help them with celebration travels. So, you know, they're celebrating a big birthday, or they want to bring a multi-gen family reunion type trip together, and it's a lot of moving pieces. It could be, you know, 10 people all the way up to 25 people. But super proud of the sort of the bigger group planning that we do. Some of the fun things we've done recently is, you know, we've hired a mariachi band. We've had kids involved with decorating birthday cakes with the chefs coming to their villa or residence. We've put together a family photo shoots. We are hiring bands to perform at these parties. So, you know, these are some of the things that we're super proud of.
And what are some of the hot destinations? Like I think of St. Bart's, but I
Yeah.
don't. That maybe still old. Yeah, no, that is still considered.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
absolutely. St. Bart's, absolutely. Over festive, we had a few clients choose to stay in Canada, which was lovely. So they did some skiing trips. Skiing is always very popular. In Canada, it could be Whistler, Sun Peaks, Lake Louise, but in Europe, it's you know, Courchevel or the Dolomites. South of France is always super popular. We have a number of clients that are traveling to Japan, which also continues to be super interesting, and really diving deep into the culture of
mhm.
Japan, which is really nice to see. We also over festive had clients that went to Cape Town for festive, which was you know, a great way to escape the cold of Toronto. It's in the completely different weather, so that was exciting. And we're also diving into really interesting experiences. We just had clients on the Belmont train
Yeah,
out of Singapore, which is really a
yeah.
fun experience. It's an interesting juxtaposition of this gorgeous train that's been completely renovated and remodeled, going through wild jungles up to Kuala Lumpur. So I thought that was a super special
Amazing.
experience. Yeah, yeah.
What advice would you have, Anna, for advisors who are listening to us and would like to start to carve a little niche in the luxury market for themselves?
Yeah, it's a great question. I would say you have to sort of understand the mindset of the luxury traveler. So dive deep into research and understanding a little bit about what makes them tick. So, like I mentioned before, art is an incredibly important space where art
Hmm.
and design, where you should get to know a little bit about that space. There's also, you know, joining a golf club and getting to know folks, or you know, taking up tennis or pickleball. Pickleball. It sounds silly, but that's where people like this, you know, really sort of,
So
you know, get together.
congregate, yeah. So do you
Yeah,
yourself have to be, part of that social circle in order to cater to that social circle? Or is that sort of just a mindset that people need to get over, that you don't necessarily have to be super wealthy to cater to the super wealthy?
I think, yeah, I think it's a mindset. I think you absolutely need to do your research and understand things, but you don't necessarily have to be in that tax bracket. But you do need to understand sort of what how they think, what is important
Hmm.
to them, and
Hmm.
understand how to talk to it. So the research part is, you know, get out there and start understanding a little bit about how yachts work, how a private yacht works,
Right.
how to book private travel. Like if you start to understand a little bit of that, then you can speak to that with your clients.
Is there a lot of private jet bookings now going on as a result of, you know, travel being a little more challenging than it used to be?
Yeah, we do have clients that definitely fly private, and in some cases, I wouldn't say it's on the rise. I say it's almost the same as
Yeah.
we've seen in the past, but we absolutely do have clients that look for that. And in some cases, they'll ask us to you know, get a quote to compare, to see and if it's worthwhile. And in some cases, it could be. So then they, you know, they would opt for that.
Hmm. That would be a nice way to travel. That I can sign on to any day.
Especially with the storm we just had, where there
Especially
was,
with, yeah.
yeah, with the issues, like yeah, it's a really
Mind
lovely
you,
way of
even a
travel.
private jet has to be
Yes,
de-iced and there has to be
yes,
room on the runway,
yes.
but still,
It's not foolproof. No, no.
no, the weather is the weather. And
Yeah.
it's fascinating. I love listening to you talk. I'm sure you have stories you can tell us, but you can't because you have to maintain privacy, but
Yes, I
confidentiality.
was going to
But
say privacy and
yeah,
confidentiality is very important with
is
this
it right?
set.
Of course.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we have technology that keeps everything, all the information that we have is secure, but we
Mm.
also, we don't name drop and we don't talk about our clients in a way that they could, you know, um, feel like we're not keeping that confidentiality. It's very
Yeah,
important.
yeah. No
Hmm.
bragging rights, eh?
No,
Damn, I booked
I
such and
know.
such a celebrity, and
No,
no, can't do that.
no, no.
Damn. All right then. Listen, thank you. Thank you for your time, Anna. This was
Of
really, really
course.
interesting. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much. I certainly appreciate it. And yeah, love to talk to you again.
Absolutely. I would like to do that, touch base once in a while just to get an update on
Yeah.
your sphere. Of course, I wouldn't mind a little bit of a hint on who your clients are, but okay, I'll let
Sorry.
it.
Thanks, Nina. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Anna.